Rupert Murdoch has lost his bid to amend a family trust, granting full control to his son, Lachlan. Sarah Ellison is the democracy reporter with The Washington Post, and she joins us now from New York. Sarah, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So could you just take us back to the beginning of this case? What exactly is Rupert Murdoch trying to achieve here, and why?
So what Rupert Murdoch would have liked to have done is undo the terms of the trust that he established decades ago. This is the family trust that controls the Murdoch media empire, or what's left of it in any case. And it is a trust that he and his 4 children are currently trustees of. 4 of his children, I should say, or three of his children, excuse me. And what ended up happening is that he failed in this effort, because what Rupert wanted to do was try to preserve it for Lachlan, but he has James, Elizabeth, and Prudence, who are the other 3 children who have always had the same level of voting control that Lachlan has in this trust. And Rupert was fearful that James, his second son, was going to try to wrest some control over this trust after Rupert died, and try to sort of yank some of his businesses to the left. And so Rupert wanted to rewrite the terms of the trust and maintain control for Lachlan. And unfortunately, that was not successful today.
Yeah, so how important is it to Rupert and Lachlan to maintain the conservative nature of the company?
So Fox News is by far the most profitable and the most important part of what's left of Fox Corp. And Fox News in the United States is well known for being a more conservative network than its competitors. And maintaining that political position is key to its business success. And the question, and that's certainly the belief of pretty much everyone in the Murdoch family, James and Elizabeth and Prudence included. The question was for Rupert whether or not James would try to move it slightly to the left. And the issue is that obviously, the Murdoch empire has really staked out this kind of political position, and it's been very successful. Until it has run into stories like the Dominion voting machines story that has cost the company here $750 million in sort of irresponsible reporting. And those are the kinds of things that become more risky, or have become riskier, as Fox has gotten sort of more tied to the MAGA movement in this country. And that was the type of thing that Rupert was worried about changing, because even though those are legal concerns, they are actually quite good for the business to stake out those political positions.
The New York Times is reporting that an appeal to this decision is likely. So what could happen now?
Well, in fact, that's exactly what Rupert's lawyer has said, that they're going to appeal the decision. It will go back to it'll go to a district judge who could reverse it and send it back. And so we're not quite at the end of the line, but my sources at News Corporation and Fox Corp don't think that this is likely going to be a successful effort. There's no real business reason to think that any of the kids are going to change the market position of the company, and that this is simply an effort. I mean, this is what the probate judge said in his decision, that this was an effort to sort of consolidate control for Lachlan, and not really based on any kind of serious concern that the market position or that the unity of the family was going to damage the business of the future business of the Murdoch operation. So it will be appealed. Then another judge can take a look at it, but so we will have to wait for that decision. But my sources are telling me that it feels unlikely that they will be successful.
And has this caused quite a bit of a rift within the family? What do we know about how the siblings are handling this case?
So even before this case, things were quite strained between James and his brother Lachlan and his father, Rupert. But Rupert went personally to each daughter to describe what it was that he wanted to do, and they were both outraged by this effort to rewrite the terms of the trust. It's created a huge rift in the family, and it's essentially estranged members of the family from one another. We got a statement from Prudence, Elizabeth, and James saying that they were, they welcomed the judge's decision and they were going to focus now on repairing relationships in the family. That's a pretty tall order, given how much of an affront this seemed for the kids who were watching their voting rights, watching their father attempt to take their voting rights away. So it's yet another moment in the Murdoch family where Rupert has done something that has really alienated his children. And this is, as I mentioned, a major affront.